That game was what we are going to call a tank win. Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney and I am here to recap the game that was between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Colorado Avalanche last night. It was game 1 of the 2022-23 season for both clubs, and it was banner raising night for the Colorado Avalanche because if you recall, and I don't know how you could forget so soon, the Colorado Avalanche are the reigning Stanley Cup champs. The ceremony was pretty cool. It brought back some feelings like, oh, I remember how great this felt when it was my team, how good winning feels, and now we are expecting our team to lose and wanting our team to lose. That is quite the turnaround. But current Chicago Blackhawk Jack Johnson was a former Colorado Avalanche and was on that cup-winning team. During the ceremony, he was sitting on the bench for a lot of it while the rest of the Blackhawks were still back in the room letting the Avs have their time. And oh my goodness, he looked like the happiest guy out there. Every time they panned back to him on the camera, he was just sitting on the bench with the biggest smile on his face. It was making me so emotional. He just looked so happy. And then once it came time for the banner to be raised up to the rafters, I was sitting in my living room going, Jack, go get on the ice! Go be with your former teammates, just go celebrate it. And I think everybody watching that ceremony would have been really, really sad if that's not what happened, but Jack Johnson did join the Colorado Avalanche on the ice as they raised the Stanley Cup banner, and it looked a little funny because they're all in their Avs sweaters and gear, obviously, and then you have Jack Johnson standing with them just in his Blackhawks gear. But that doesn't matter because he got to share that special moment with the team he won his first championship with. I said in the last video that I'm pretty sure that's the only reason he signed with the Blackhawks, so he could be there for that banner raising. And even if that was the sole reason for his choice to sign here in Chicago, can you really blame him? If I was a Stanley Cup winner and I didn't re-sign with the team I won with in the offseason, I'd want to be there as well. I'm so happy for him that he got that opportunity, and I'm glad that he did go out on the ice to celebrate with his former teammates. And then the actual game started, which kicked off the season for the Blackhawks, game 1 of 82. Normally I would do a goal-by-goal recap, but I'm not going to do that in this video. 1, because all you need to know is Blackhawks took penalty, Colorado Avalanche scored on power play. And 2, the Blackhawks play again tonight, and so do the Leafs in about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna try to get this video out quickly so I can go watch those games. And this game didn't really matter for the Blackhawks anyway, but I do have some thoughts about it, so I didn't just want to skip the game and not make a video for it, especially because it was the first game of the season. I could have combined the game last night and tonight, but it's game 1. Let's just do it. So in the first period, the Blackhawks actually won the first face-off of the game. Max Domi took it. That first line of Andreas Athanasiou, Max Domi, and Patrick Kane started the game, and even though he won the face-off, the Blackhawks then proceeded to be hemmed in their own zone, and they turned the puck over within the first 30 seconds, which gave the Avs a clear chance on Peter Mrazek. And God bless Peter Mrazek, because within the first 5 minutes of this game, he had to play god-tier goaltender on only like 4 or 5 shots. A very low amount of shots, but the quality was ridiculous for this guy's first regular season game as a Chicago Blackhawk. Welcome to the team, Peter. I hope you get used to it. And he actually played very well last night. The Blackhawks did lose this game 5-2, but at even strength, the Avs only would have won the game 1-0. So they scored 4 on the power play, and that also means that the Blackhawks scored 2 goals on the power play. I know. It sounds crazy, but I'm not lying to you. And the first goal of the game for the Blackhawks came from the captain, Jonathan Toews. If last night needed to get any weirder, there you go. But before I talk about the goals that the Blackhawks scored, I just want to mention the first goal that the Colorado Avalanche scored, because Peter Mrazek is out here making crazy stop after crazy stop, stoning Nathan MacKinnon with his glove, diving to make a poke-checking stop, just lunging to his right to make a stop on his blocker side. None of these are going in, but Nathan MacKinnon, he takes a shot from the high slot area, but it is tipped out front by Andrew Cogliano. It goes off of him, off of Peter Mrazek's pad, and just bounces slowly into the net. That was the first goal that they scored last night. After all of these glorious chances, all of these great saves from Peter Mrazek, and this puck just lazily makes its way into the net. It really just seemed fitting, but I felt really bad for Mrazek. But again, he had a pretty decent night, all things considered. Now, again, I'm not going to go through this game goal by goal, but I do want to talk about the 2 goals that the Blackhawks scored. So the first one on the power play, of course, because both of them came on the power play. Again, I still can't really believe it either. Andreas Athanasiou had the puck over to the left side of the net, kind of down by the left corner area. He passed it to Philip Kurashev, who was hanging out in the left circle. And once Kurashev got the puck, it's like everybody bit on him taking a shot. There was some traffic in front of the net. They were all facing Kurashev. Georgiev came way out to challenge him as a shooter. So what does Kurashev do? Out of the corner of his eye, he can see his captain on the right side of the ice. He just slings that puck through the middle of the ice, and Jonathan Toews has the most wide open net I have maybe ever seen while there is a goaltender on the ice. Honestly, I'm shocked that he didn't miss the net there, because that would have just been so fitting for this Blackhawks team. But he did not miss the net. The captain hit the inside of the net that gave them a goal. Jonathan Toews with his first goal of the season, the Chicago Blackhawks' first goal of the season, and if it should be his last as the captain of the Blackhawks, his last as a member of this team, well, he kicked it off with a goal. And then we have to do a little bit of time traveling to the 3rd period. And pretty early in the 3rd period, 1 minute and 51 seconds into it, you have Patrick Kane and Tyler Johnson doing a kind of give and go maneuver at the left point in the offensive zone on the power play, lest we forget that both of these goals came on the power play. Tyler Johnson skates down to the left circle with the puck, and he just flings it to the other side of the ice, where there is Max Domi. He stretches out his stick and just redirects that puck into the net. His first goal as a Chicago Blackhawk, and on the power play. I still can't get over that. That goal cut Colorado's lead in half to make it only 4-2. Valeri Nichushkin would add another one later in the period, so the game ended 5-2, like I said. But as I did say right off the top, we are going to call that game a tank win, because on the score sheet and in the standings, the Blackhawks lost the game. They didn't get a single point from it. That is what we want. But they did score 2 power play goals. Peter Mrazek looked decent in this game. Sometimes he looked great in this game. We like that. And the team was playing with a lot of energy. They were challenging the puck. They were, skating hard, and that's kind of difficult to do against this Avalanche team. You can try, but most times, even if you are skating as hard as you can, you still look like you are skating in molasses, because this Colorado Avalanche team is maybe the fastest team the NHL has ever seen. So the fact that it didn't look like the Blackhawks were just lazy out there or not giving it their all, they actually looked like they were engaged in the game, that is definitely a win. And Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane both got on the score sheet. Patrick Kane assisted on Max Domi's goal, and of course the first goal went to the captain himself. Now, we can talk about the bad, and when they were also on a power play and Kane tried to pass it to Seth Jones, and Jones was just hanging out in the neutral zone instead of at the point inside of the offensive zone, there was that thing that happened, and Kaner wasn't too happy about that, understandably. But overall, this was a positive game from the Blackhawks despite the score. And I mean, the score was also positive because we want them to lose and not get points so we can hopefully get the best draft pick possible. Here's the main thing. The Chicago Blackhawks didn't look bad. They just looked like they didn't have the skill level to match the Colorado Avalanche. And they don't. So they should look like that up against the best team in the NHL. Maybe some more interesting games will come when they face lesser competition, which isn't going to happen tonight. They are up against the Vegas Golden Knights tonight. That was too many nights in one sentence. And while Vegas did miss the playoffs last season, it's basically just because they were injured beyond belief. They played a really tough first game against the LA Kings, which they came back to win, even though it looked like maybe it would go in the Kings' favor, but it didn't. So tonight's going to be another tough game for the Blackhawks. But Vegas isn't Colorado. They are still very good, but they are not the Colorado Avalanche. So maybe this one will be just a tad bit more interesting to analyze after the game. But all in all, I was not disappointed with the game that we got last night. It always sucks when your team loses, even if you want it to happen, even if you know it's going to happen, it still doesn't feel good. But you have to applaud the effort that the Blackhawks put in when they could have really just mailed this one in because the Avs are so good and the Blackhawks are the opposite of that. So we'll see what we get tonight from them in the second half of a back-to-back. We'll see if they are as energized, as motivated to go chase pucks and all that. I know I'm interested to see what they look like. But that is going to be all from me in this video. If you would like to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can go check out FromCenterIce.com. There's links to all the places you can find us over there. If you are more of a social media person, you can follow us on those platforms. The links are all down in the description for you. We also have a brand new merch shop, FromCenterIce.shop. That is also linked down in the description, and there is also a link on the From Center Ice website, so it's pretty easy to find. But all of that said, thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know this season's gonna be tough, you know this season's gonna be tough, but hopefully we can get through it together. And I will catch y'all in the next video. Bye guys.